Talk your own.
Talk your own.
Talk your own. Most drug users have their reasons for abusing drugs, right? But how valid are these? And what are the effects of drug abuse? Over to Afe in Abuja to explore these and many more.
I have here with me Dr. Jimla Sopoyemi Ogushake, a public health physician with experience working with drug abusers. Doctor, you're welcome.
Thank you.
What can drugs do to anyone who abuses it?
People that abuse drugs, they suffer a lot medically, as much as they suffer a lot psychologically, emotionally, and of course, the society at large. There are short-term medical complications. There are also long-term medical complications. Part of the short-term medical complications are people losing consciousness, people being lethargic, people become fatigued, people have abdominal problems, muscle pain, bone pain. People have they're drowsy, people are restless, and other people are not able to concentrate and stuff like that. But for long-term medical causes, they attack almost all the organs in the body. So they might not even have blood pressure issues. So many of them end up having cardiac arrest and stuff like that. Some of them come down with stroke. Some of them come down with serious brain damage that affects almost all the function of the body, that can even affect their gait, the way they walk and stuff like that.
Okay. Now, is it possible for one to abuse drug without knowing?
Of course, yes. It is possible. Many people abuse drug in today's world. That is why a lot of people have developed what we call drug resistance. Because like people just walking anywhere, they just buy antibiotics, for instance, and many other drugs across the counter. Some drugs are supposed to be prescribed. We have problems with the so-called chemists and those guys that sells drugs by the roadside. They have access to many of these opiates, the addictive ones, like tramadol and all the rest of them. And because some of those drugs, they have this addictive effect, so people go and buy them on their own because it makes them feel in a particular way when they use it for that particular problem. And so even when the problem is not there anymore, they still want to go back to buy the same drug so that they can be able to enjoy the feeling that drug gave them even in the first place. So self-medication, self-care is not wrong in all cases, except when it comes to when a drug is not prescribed. A drug that is supposed to be prescribed by a physician is not prescribed, then it has become an abuse.
Can you tell us the signs that a parent or a guardian can be looking out for, for a person who's abusing drugs? How would you know?
Parents are busy all over the place. They don't really even have time to know. But for parents that cares to know, you don't want to eat your food. I've had that kind of experience before. She actually brought the guy to the hospital that he's not been eating. At a closer look, we found out that the guy is already abusing drugs, tramadol, for instance. When you notice that your child is always sweating, behaving, always fatigued, having irrational behavior in the house, lethargic, confused, if you really know your child, there is no way the child will change that you will not be able to suspect that something is wrong with this child.
So why is it difficult for some people to stop abusing drugs? Even when they try on their own.
It is difficult for people to stop abusing drugs because it's gone beyond them. That's what is called addiction. Addiction is the biggest problem for drug users. For people that are not yet addicted, they could still find their way around by personal discipline, by the help of friends, and say, oh, I don't want to smoke that thing anymore. So the person will just be like, oh, I don't like how I felt the last time. Okay, so I won't hang out with those guys anymore.
How can you get out of addiction?
The first thing the addicted needs to know is that I can be free. People that have been so messed up have been free from drug addiction. Okay? That's even the beginning of it. You need to understand that you can stop. You also need to understand that you can be helped. And you, as in, if you are even taking that boldness, like I know what I'm doing is a lot of problem for me, then I need to stop it. I think that is a very good stuff. Then the person should seek help, and seek help in the nearest rehabilitation center, and talk to family members so that I can be able to get help.
And this person can get all of this medical help you're talking about here in Nigeria?
Yeah, a person can get the help everywhere in this country.
In government hospitals?
Both in government and in private settings, yes.
If you already know that a person close to you is a drug user or an abuser, how can you help that person?
Simple. You are the best person to help that person, because that person might find it difficult to come out. The first thing you need to do for that person is to assure and reassure that person that, see, this thing you can stop. You can come out on behalf of your pal, of your friend that cannot come out, and help the person to be able to locate the nearest rehabilitation center.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jimla Sugushaki, for being a part of this program.
Thank you, Afi, for having me.
Talk your own.
Talk your own.
Talk your own.
Youths are the pillars of any economy, especially in a country like Nigeria, where they say the youths make up to 70% of our population. So you can imagine what happens when members of this vibrant group are the ones caught in the damaging effects of drug abuse. Now, what is your role and your contribution towards ensuring that drug abuse reduces in Nigeria? I'll leave you with that. This is Talk Your Own with the people. Should we do this again sometime? Should we not? Of course we should. My name is Okechukwu Fodu. See you sometime. Bye-bye.
Talk your own.
Talk your own.
Talk your own.
Thanks for watching. Continue to talk your own online, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and WhatsApp. Remember, for government to work, get involved. No sit down look. See you next week for another edition of
Talk your own. We the people.
Talk Your Own has been made with funding from the UK Department for International Development.